Welcome back to the show. We are fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. Titans practice just ended. Amani Hooker, safety, about to sit down with us right now on 104.5 The Zone. 615-737-1045 is how you join the conversation. What's happening, stud?
How you doing?
Good to see you. Long time no talk.
How you doing?
We're doing good. We're doing good. How was the day of work for the audience who hadn't gotten to see you guys on the practice field in action yet? What can you kind of tell them?
High energy from both sides. Everyone's out here competing. Everyone's excited. Everyone sees the opportunity, and you see guys are hungry.
It's hard for me every year that I come back to another training camp, Amani. It's hard for me to understand that I'm getting old and seeing guys like go through their careers and stuff like that. The fact that you're one of the old heads around here now, you're the second longest tenured player on the team, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Harold's the oldest. So then it's me.
Do you remind him of that often?
You remind him of that. Me and Jeff let him know. But yeah, it's Harold and me and Jeff, and yeah, it's pretty crazy how fast this thing can go.
You have to be present. There'll be time for reflection on all of that kind of stuff at certain moments when you have downtime. And I know when you're getting back to it, you got to be locked in. But does that ever catch up with you at all? Do you ever think about that beyond just what your career here has been and what you've been able to accomplish in your time?
Yeah, you think about it because you're just appreciative of it. You know what I mean? When you're young, you think back when you're younger. And just yesterday, I'm walking through the equipment room like, wow, we're really in the league right now. Even though this is year 6, it's still a pretty amazing accomplishment that we have, that I have achieved, and a lot of guys here have achieved. But still, we got a lot of work to do, and we're excited for the future.
So the work that the defense has been putting in all off season long, right? You guys are expected to hit the ground running when training camp starts, and like you said, it's been high energy through the first 2 days, and how you all manage that is something that is going to be, how you guys come together, the way that you overcome the adversities that are presented this time of year and ramping up to the regular season. For you, what have you been most proud of to see the defense accomplish, understanding that there's all kind of new pieces and parts all over the place?
Guys buying into, what Coach Wilson is trying to incorporate here, the style of play that we're trying to have here as a Beat and Titan, aggressive, smart, physical, guys that aren't going to back down from a challenge or back down from adversity. No matter what happens, we got guys on the field that have bought into, what we're trying to accomplish here.
Denard Wilson. I've known a lot of football coaches in my life. He seems like a crazy person. How does that project in the meeting room? How does that project on the field? It seems like an intense work environment, but also an enjoyable one, and one where you guys can clearly see that there's somebody with that kind of command putting you in the best positions to succeed.
Yeah, to play defense at a high level, to coach a defense at the high level, you have to have a little bit of crazy in you. That's kind of what we expect. That's what we like. When we see a coach that's fired up, we don't really need motivation as a player. You shouldn't need it, but when a coach is like that, you got no choice but to, buy into what he's trying to preach. And, we love the energy, and we know he's going to bring it every single day.
There's no question he's got energy. Amani Hooker, Titan safety, hanging out here with us on 104.5 The Zone. So safety has been a big talking point for us, talking heads this offseason with you guys having a lot of changing parts and pieces, like we mentioned, across the board, not just in the secondary. But Elijah Molden, it's been cool to see the way that he's approached his own adversity, right? Everybody deals with health stuff at various points. I know you've dealt with it in your career as well. But what can you tell the audience about the way that he's handled expanded responsibility and expanded role? Because when KB gets traded last year, he steps in right away, and it's kind of, everybody's got to feel it out.
Yep. Elijah Molden, he's a pro. He's a guy that's in the training room. He's getting extra work in. He's always asking questions. Like, he moved from nickel. He was corner when he first got here to nickel to safety. So he's played multiple positions when he's been here, and every time he's been put in a position, he's always prepared and always ready. He's a guy that, we trust that's back there. He's a guy that I played with many games, and, I'm out there. I don't have no concern about him on the other side. He's a guy that, he's going to help us out win a lot of games this year.
You both have that versatility to your game. I know you can be uncomfy talking about yourself and how good you are at certain things, but you've played all of those positions yourself at certain points. How much do you guys kind of bounce things off one another?
Yep. I talk about my time when, I played nickel for a few games. Pretty sure it was my third year. I played nickel 7 games. So I talk about my experiences there, and what he experienced. And it's just a lot of talking ball with him. He's my locker buddy, so we're always, talking about, off the field stuff and, ball.
Yeah, absolutely. Amani Hooker hanging out here with us on 104.5 The Zone. Jamal Adams, first couple of days, what's been the experience like with you guys?
It's been a great experience. He was a guy that, when I was in high school coming out, I used to try and model. I used to watch highlights of him before I went out there to play, my high school games. And even when I was in college and he was about to get drafted, I was trying to, mimic his style of play. And I mentioned that right after we picked him up, that, he was a guy that I looked up to, and I was excited to, take the field and, learn from him and, all his experiences. And so far it's been good.
But the idea that was somebody who, like you, that you would see his highlights and stuff like that, because you're pretty close to peers. I mean, I know you guys aren't the exact same age, but it always surprises me to see it next to his name, 28 years old. It feels like he's been in the league for so much longer than that.
Yeah, I know. He's pretty sure he got in the league at 20. I'm pretty sure I got in the league at 20 as well. So we're the same path. He's a couple years older than me.
Yeah. For you guys, as the competition kind of fleshes itself out, what are you looking to see from your teammates as one of the leaders on this defense and on this team as a whole?
Improvement and consistency. As long as guys are consistently improving, that's all we look for. We don't want any ups and downs. We want constantly, every day, correcting your mistakes, coming out here, competing at a high level, and then just attacking. Everything we do, we want to attack. The ball's in the air, the ball's on the ground, or the ball's in the ball's carrier's hand. We try to knock the ball off him.
Going against these new skill position players and seeing all three of the quarterbacks out here getting work against you guys, what improvements have you seen on the offensive side of the ball? What have you liked about getting the work against guys like Ridley or the tight ends, Hopkins? I know this is your second year having him as a teammate and as somebody who you can compete against.
No, it's great work. I love having Ridley on our side of the ball on our team. But like everyone on offense, the offensive scheme is much different than what we've been used to, and I love the versatility that they're showing. TP's a back that I've been watching the Cowboys. We played them. I wasn't able to play against him, but he's a guy that I've always been impressed with. I'm glad that we picked him up. But overall offense has been very exciting. Hearing those guys in the locker room talk about scheme and opportunities that they have to make plays, it's pretty awesome.
I was joking with somebody on the sideline earlier. I think it was Wyatt, Jimmy Wyatt of your guys' official website. I have done interviews with you for this is your 7th year?
6th year.
6th year.
Yep.
And I don't think I've made you laugh in a radio interview one time. I don't know if there's a more locked-in individual when we get
now. Right.
Well, you're also just not really a funny guy.
I'm not that funny, which is it hurts me. It cuts me deeply. I'm like, what can I do to loosen this guy up?
I was kind of waiting for a joke, man. I don't know.
I don't have
a joke yet.
I'm like your. Well, I don't ever know how often, because you guys are locked in. You just came off the practice field. You're flying around. You're doing a million things. If I'm sitting here cracking jokes, you're gonna be like this. No,
we're all loose, man. It's all good
on FCC Safe Air. But I did hear one time that do you still do the Dairy Alliance stuff?
I still do it, but I haven't done a ad or nothing like that in a while.
Okay, but I heard you took a trip to a dairy farm.
Yes, I was on a farm.
Is that
I didn't milk any cows or nothing like that, but I was there.
What was the experience? What was that like? Because I can't imagine. I mean, have you been on dairy farms before? I have to imagine that's kind of a different.
I haven't been on
atmosphere.
A dairy farm, but my mom's from Nebraska, from a country in Norfolk, so I've been on a farm, but not technically a dairy farm.
So how do you go to a dairy farm and not milk a cow? I feel like they got to sign you up for the experience.
Yeah, they didn't even really offer it. I don't know if they didn't want me touching their cows or something like that.
There's probably all kind of waivers that have to be signed. All right, Lucas, do you have speed round questions for Amani Hooker?
We got a speed round for you, Amani, to ask the interesting questions, the stuff people really want to know. Jackson, please give us the terrible music. So, you're from Minnesota. Mm-hmm. Did you ever have an interest in hockey? And if so, what position would you play in hockey?
Never had an interest, but I'd be a forward.
Okay, what sport would you be playing if not for football?
Basketball.
Your brother is a professional basketball player in Europe. A lot of people might not know that. You guys ever go one-on-one now that he's professionally playing basketball and you're playing football?
It's been a while since we went one-on-one. We had a camp this last weekend, or this past summer, and we were playing a little ball, but we didn't get to do one-on-one at all.
You've played in the North, the Midwest, and now the South. Better playing weather, freezing cold or scorching hot?
Oh. Scorching hot.
Scorching hot, no matter what? You never got used to the cold in Minnesota?
Nope.
That has to wear on a person. Just physically wear you
bones.
down.
It's the knees.
The bones. No, you're too young to be talking about knees.
You and Jeffrey Simmons played each other in both of your last games of your college career. 2018 Outback Bowl, Iowa 27, Mississippi State 22 was the final. What's your lasting memory from that game, and does it ever come up?
It comes up a lot. Every time he rings that cowbell, I'm like, Hawkeyes, don't forget. But the last memory was probably me or our team running to the midfield, doing our Iowa cheer right in front of their whole team while they're walking off sad their final game.
How often does he just keep a cowbell in his locker?
He has a cowbell in his locker. Every time it's Saturday, they're playing. You hear it. But don't really worry about it.
Wandering the hallways, just shaking the cowbell.
Was the Nico Autry a part of that too, or was it just Jeff doing the cowbell thing?
Jeff was just doing the cowbell. Nico would laugh, but Nico's Nico. He ain't worried about that.
All right,
not worried about anything but football.
Right.
You talked about looking up to now your teammate Jamal Adams when you were coming up. Is there another safety you've modeled your game after?
Modeled my game after recently. I would probably say Justin Simmons was a guy that coming out. He wore 27 in college, Boston College, and I wore 27 in college. So, and he's light skinned, I'm light skinned. So that's kind of where I try to copy a little style right there. Yeah.
New teammate that talks the most trash.
New teammate. New teammate like this year.
Yeah,
teammate.
after being on the practice field for 2 days in training camp.
We'll go with. I don't know. It's pretty tough.
TBD.
Jeff's loud. You feel me? It's hard to hear anyone else other than Jeff.
Not
honestly.
louder than Arden.
Well, Arden's loud, but Arden's funny loud. Jeff's a mean loud. Arden's a funny loud.
No, okay. Because I was going to ask if he's not creative enough with his loudness, but he's just a mean loud.
Yeah, Jeff's a mean loud. Arden's more of he'll crack a joke loud at the same time.
Every once in a while, somebody on the offense come up, Jeff be like, too deep.
Yeah, exactly.
Last one. Favorite interception of your NFL career?
Favorite interception? I'd probably say the Bengals. The Bengals playoff game was probably my favorite one, most impactful. But second, I'd probably say San Fran. Should have been a pick six, but the San Fran night game was pretty cool.
That's it. You're off the hook. Appreciate it, Amani.
Is that what we're calling it, off the hook?
No, it's speed round. He's off the hook. He doesn't have to talk to us anymore.
Amani, we appreciate you spending some time with us. Continued health and success.
Thank you, man.
Always good to have you over. Well, coming up next, you will hear from L'Jarius Sneed, among other Titans players, DeAndre Hopkins and Brian Callahan, also going to speak at the podium. I'm Buck Reising. It's 104.5 The Zone.